This is the Dave Hill thing, yep. Just testing out my shots. What up, Phil? What up, Craig? What up, Brandon? One-man team, what's going on? Growl's hanging out, doing our thing. 7:30 Eastern time. What's up? Had a cool interview today with the Hellcast guys who affiliated the Hell's Headbanger podcast and now videocast or whatever like that. So we had a good chat today with Thomas Haywood of Redefining Darkness and Seeing Red Records or whatever, and yeah, man, Hellcast, that was fun today. It was like what did you say? It was an hour and 40 taped, so it worked out well, and it was nice out. Ended up sitting outside, just chilling. So I ended up cleaning the outside yesterday, so the patio, and clean up the garbage, put the tables back, the summer tables and everything, and got to get everything chilling again, right? We got time on our hands, man. So want to give a nice shout out to. I'm just watching the stream, making sure everything's going good. Want to give a shout out to the guys in Ectoplasma. Some Grease from Greece. It's like, I wouldn't say it's old school death metal, but it sounds like it came from the eras, but not ripping any of the bands off. Doesn't have like a particular sound or anything. It's just pummeling death metal. It's just death metal. And these guys have been putting albums out like crazy. And John, I believe he's the singer. I he runs his own label too called Spawn of Flesh Records, also out of Greece, and also brings in Spawn of Flesh zine also, and that's a cool printed zine. Should have brought that down too. I got that upstairs. Good shit though. But yeah, Ectoplasma, man. Make sure to check those guys out for sure. What up? We got Charles, Jenny Varga, Kevin Reese, Jake Johnson, Kyle Jordan. Welcome to the madness. And of course, I mean, we can't deny who this is. Somebody has to pipe up and say who this is. Were you listening at the beginning? Who is this? Anybody? Devin, what's up, buddy? Can anybody name the band? Come on. Saying Guizagabog. What's up, Gregory? Does anybody know who this is? Come on, someone's got to pipe up here. Yeah, Nickelback. Come on. What is this, 2011? 2012? Huh, Phil? Come on. Nobody knows this band from Austria. Yeah, Creed. What is this, 2009? Who brings that up? Who says Creed anymore? You might as well say, oh, Backstreet Boys. Come on. Gregory. Nobody knows who this is, eh? I'm ashamed. How do you not know this song? Can you even hear it? There you go. See, Craig knows. Fucking Pungent Stench. Come on. Pungent Stench. Oh, you guys are killing me tonight. Yes, fucking A, Pungent. That's one band that I am dying to see. Pissed. I missed this show especially. This was at the Scrapyard in Buffalo. And this show, I believe, is with Incantation and Carnal Dissection. And I started finding about these shows. Shit. Had to have been about maybe 6 months, not even 6 months or so before I started hearing about these shows. And I fucking missed this shit. This kills me, man. This kills me. What kills me too is Um, I'm a big Baphomet fan. The Dead Shall Inherit is probably one of the sickest fucking New York albums. It's crazy. So they always played. They fucking always played, right? Because obviously this is their hometown. So by the time I started figuring out who they were and waiting for a show, they ended up switching their name to Banished. So they did that album, and then they did the show with, I'm pretty sure it was with the Sinister Cynic and Obituary. I believe that was the show. So they were supposed to play on that bill, but unfortunately they couldn't play. I don't know what happened, but something happened, and I lost my shit. I saw the band right over there, and I was like, come on, guys, like, you're killing me here. And then it wasn't until it wasn't until 2000. I'm gonna say, when was that Day of Death at the Forum there? It was 2012. Whatever, when they did their little reunion or whatever. It was TJ and Craig, the original guys. And the rest of the band was that band Seplophile, also, that were from Buffalo. So it was guitar, bass, second guitar, bass, drums that was filling in to fill out Baphomet. So I ended up seeing that, so that was cool. So, but I guess that's the closest I'm going to get. And fuck, Baphomet played all the time right back in the day. But again, I just started missing the fucking shows by the time I was like, oh man, it's all happening. So yeah, totally. But I was mentioning too, yesterday, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before or whatever, we were talking about Mike Campbell. He was the guy from Oshawa who used to do a zine, and it's fucking awesome zine, right? So Sepulchral Voice. Oh, hold on. And I'm fucking pissed, because I'm not pissed, but like, it even got a fucking Order from Chaos shirt on, right? Incantation. I ended up seeing Incantation the first time was the Diabolical Conquest tour. Who the fuck played Incantation? Wow, who played that show? If Metal Dan was watching, he would know, but he's not. Craig Newman, I don't know if you went, that was at the El Macombo. Ended up playing at the El Macombo. That was with Daniel Corchado when he came in from the Chasm. And he ended up playing on that tour, which was fucking killer. But the Sepulchral Voice, there's the zine there. He ended up doing a paper zine too. Super killer. But yeah, great zine. And I'm not sure if this was the issue that I found. Yeah, there's that Nailed band. Again, Oshawa. Massification from Ingersoll. Psychic Pawn. Wow, remember that? There. A good old Cataclysm demo ad, eh? I don't know if you can see that. It's a killer. But yeah, man, some good old zine work, dude. This was Mike Campbell. And and ended up. If anybody remembers this zine, this one came. There was a buddy. This is Metal Dan, the guy that you'll see in some of the videos sometimes. This was his zine, so he did 3 issues, I believe, and he was kind of the guy that influenced me to get a zine going. Because I mean, he shows me this, and I'm like, oh, cool! Look at all these bands, man. No shit. And he's like, yeah, this is my zine. I'm like, what do you mean your zine? He goes, yeah, man, I put all this together. I did the phone calls. I transcribed all the interviews, blah, blah, blah. And he put it all together, man. It's a fucking great zine. He's got Psy, Afflicted. There's an old Mythic. There's an old Mythic one interview he did. Cheese Grinder. A buddy did a zine called Cheese Grinder. Oh, Demoniac. Fate's Warning. Like he was knee deep in shit, man. It was awesome. It was really cool. But he's got a lot of fucking content. Their obituary interview, Napalm Death interview, Strapato, which obviously was Slaughter, Atheist, Biohazard, Suffo, Hellwitch, Grave, Desultory. We're just talking about Desultory today too. Cannibal, old logo, of course. Entombed. Oh, what's going on here? Can't have this. Hold on a sec. This thing's timing out on me. Cool. But yeah, tonight we got a pretty rad dude on to hang out. Let's see if this worked.
Hello.
Well, hello there.
Wait, Will. How's it going?
Good, man. What's going on with you and that nice scarf you got going on?
Oh, thanks. I had to do it. I have to warn you. Are we on the air now?
We are live.
Oh, to the world.
To the world.
I have residual corpse paint on from. I was in witch taint mode earlier, so I'm rid of that. But then I have a new movie coming out called Drunk Bus, and I had to do some interviews for that. So I put a scarf on so I would seem more Hollywood. But now I can relax a little bit. Just
let loose, bro. Just let it loose.
But it was just to give a bit of glamour to the interview that I was doing earlier.
Right. It looks great on you.
Thank you. Congratulations. What is your shirt? Exhumer?
Ectoplasma.
Oh, I can't. Oh, now I see it. Nice. Oh, that's nice. That's a nice shirt.
Yeah, they're from Greece.
Excellent. Cool.
So, what's going on?
Congrats on your movie. What's going on with me?
It's not done yet. Movie's not done yet.
I know, but it's in the making.
Oh, yeah.
That's reason to be excited.
It totally is.
I literally, not to name drop, but given the subject matter, I was literally just texting with Chris Reifert from some band you might have heard of, Autopsy and Death and all that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those bands.
Yeah, you might have. You probably heard of them.
Yeah, I think they're involved with like the new metal scene or something, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it. He tries to play it for me. I don't get it.
Right. So what's Mr. Reefer talking about?
Oh, we have a band together, Painted Doll, and we have a new record. My dog was just coming in, so I was looking over. But we have a new record we just finished, so we're listening to the mastering. So he was asking me what I thought. So pretty. And then we had exchanged some dick jokes and things like that.
Right, yeah, dick jokes, I mean, like, that's kind of essential, actually, just to keep the spirit alive.
You have to. If we don't have dick jokes, what do we have?
Yeah, not even fart jokes.
No. You raise a good point.
Right, and especially if you can't fart on you shouldn't fart on an escalator, right?
Oh, thank you. That's from my first stand-up. That's from my first stand-up album. Let Me Turn You On. Yes. But I have a new one. Coming out April 24th, but you can stream it for free on Pandora starting this Friday. So there, I'm getting my plugs in.
Yes, please do. I was gonna say you got some stand-up going on, eh?
Yeah. I mean, not any live shows, obviously, but I just had a whole tour canceled. I mean, the other thing is, I don't feel sorry for myself because everyone's everything got canceled, you know?
Yes.
So, what are you gonna do?
This is why we do this live stream stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Because
it's the future.
Yeah, because this is
so shiny.
You're so shiny?
Well, because I had the corpse paint on earlier, and now it's all like a film on my face. But I think it suits me. Icy look.
Yeah, it looks great on you, man. Actually, I was gonna say it really comes through the TV.
Yeah, I feel good about it.
So you had corpse paint all over you for a witch taint thing, which obviously, if anybody out there in the metal world is keeping up on new news and stuff like that, there's a band called Witch Taint, which involves this guy here.
Yeah, which our first record, Sons of Midwestern Darkness, is coming out this Friday on TP Records, and it's I think the album of the year, and it has not to drag Chris Reifert into this again, but he sings backups on a couple songs. We have Micus from Venom playing a solo on a couple songs, and Malphus from Carpathian Forest rips a solo. So we've really stacked the deck.
Wow! Holy shit!
It's pretty sweet, I gotta say.
And it's and like you mentioned before, it's not your typical death metal thing.
No, in fact, I know this is controversial, but we actually have a song on the record called "Death to Death Metal."
Whoa! What's going on here?
Well, someone had to write it. I mean, between you and me, I mean, I'm not in the corpse paint right now, so I can tell you I love death metal. But when that song title is just hanging in plain sight, you have to. Plus, I'm in a band with Chris Reifert, so I figure people have to know it might be a little tongue-in-cheek.
Right.
So I'm not really gonna shit on death metal and then go to Chris's house, you know?
Yeah, no, totally. You only shit on black metal.
No, well, we're the greatest black metal band of all time.
Oh, here we go. And you haven't released anything yet though, right?
We have one single out already called Sons of Satan, and there's a video for that on YouTube. And we have a new single coming out tomorrow for Death to Death Metal.
Right.
And there's a video for that. It's going to be on YouTube also. And then the full album is out Friday. So, but I think Death to Death Metal is really a love letter to death metal. Because obviously, if you listen to the song, you obviously can tell that we actually really like death metal.
Yeah.
But I'm only telling you this because I don't have the corpse paint on right now. And I'm giving you secrets as Dave, not as my alter ego, Lance, the King of Black Metal.
Whoa. So what's Chris's, is Reifert's not in this one though?
He's not in the band. He's not in Witch Taint, but no. He did play drums for Witch Taint for one show. He played drums for Witch Taint at the Viper Room in LA once. And, but no, he just sings guest vocals on a couple songs. he sings on a song called Taint of the Witch and a song called Are You Ready to Black Metal. He's so, yeah. Right. So you can hear him when you can really hear full Chris vocals.
So what made you want to get this witch taint thing going then?
Well, it started, I don't know, some people aren't familiar with, but it started like in the early 2000s, witch taint. But it started, just existed in my mind. And so I made up this band Witch Taint just in my head, and I started emailing. This is all true. I emailed a Norwegian black metal record label called Planet Satan Revolution Records, and they put out a band called Mysticum that's still together today.
Yep.
And I emailed them trying to get a record deal, even though I had yet to write a note of music. But and it went on for a long time. And the emails, you can read all the real emails at theblackmetaldialogues.com if anyone wants to go see that. So anyway, I did that, and then there was Witch Taint t-shirts for a long time, and there still are. But and then around 2017, my buddy Phil Costello and I started reading the emails on stage. I don't know why we waited so long. I was just busy, I guess. And then we did that at St. Vitus in Brooklyn a couple times, and it went great. And then we got invited to do it at South by Southwest. And then next thing we did it in London, and then we did it in Oslo, and Fenris from Darkthrone was in the front row. So the pressure was really on. But he thought it was hilarious, so that was good. And he had a good, and he liked the music that we played. And then we did the Wacken Festival, as you know, the biggest metal festival in the world. We did that in 2018, and by then we had written like 3 or 4 songs that we would play during the show. And we noticed, when we were standing in a field in Germany in corpse paint, reading emails from our laptops and having hundreds of people just kind of stare at us like, what the fuck are they doing? And but then we would play the songs, every once in a while we'd drop a song and the whole place would go nuts. And then we were like, fuck it, we're doing this wrong, we should just be a band. So we finished our debut album, and now it's finally coming out Friday on TP Records, Sons of Midwestern Darkness, and people really like it so far, and hopefully you will too. I'll send it to you.
Sweet. I'm in, because I've noticed Liz Brenner from Earsplit, she's handling it all. So I get those emails, and I seen Witch Taint starting to make the rounds now.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love Liz. I've known her for a few years now. I see her pretty much living in New York. You also see, I know her from, she works with Phil Anselmo a lot, and also, I Hate God and all sorts of bands. So
yeah, big time.
Corrosion of Conformity. So I see her at all those, I'm friends with all those dudes, so I see her at all those shows, and pretty much you see the same people at all the metal shows in New York. It's the same people. But it's the same in every city.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. What was the last show that you went to?
The last, gosh, now I gotta think about this. What's the last? I know I've been to one recently before all this insanity started, but what was it? I can't even think of it.
It's almost like too long ago now.
I'm brain dead. I know, it's been too long. It's been like at least a month, I think, since I've been to anything.
Yeah.
And I'm really bummed because I was really looking forward to seeing Niflheim. Do you know them?
Yep.
From Sweden?
Oh, yeah.
They were coming over, and they were going to play at St. Vitus, and I was so excited for that show. And now they postponed it like a year or something.
Yeah, they're saying something about not till 2021 now, right?
Yeah, but it'll happen. I still have my ticket, so I'll be ready. But I those guys, so I've never seen them live. So I'll be ready when it happens.
Sweet.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to think. I don't know. Trying to think now.
Yeah.
Now I'm racking my brain.
I know
I
it's
have to
tough.
go through my phone and see what pictures I snuck, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I was at that show.
Yeah, I think
It's probably like an I Hate God concert because I think I've seen them more than any other band ever.
I think unfortunately my last show was a Metallica and Pantera tribute night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it the same band playing both?
No.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was Sandman and Cowboys from Hell. I know.
All right.
Yeah. And there was an Entombed Wolverine Blues tribute band that opened up.
Oh, they played blues versions of Entombed songs?
Wolverine Blues?
Oh, Wolverine Blues. Got it. I heard it. It got all jumbled in my head. And I was like, wait, they play that? Yeah. You're referring to the album. Got it.
So they played that album front to back. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, for my last show until all this shit happened was a tribute night. So I was just like, holy fuck. Okay. All right. Sounds great.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, I think, if you go see a tribute band, you just have to drink a little more, maybe.
Oh, you totally do. You just hang out in the parking lot more. That's what you do, right? And then the show before that, my last show was in Rochester. And that was for Dan Lilliker's wife, Heather. It was her birthday. So it was like Dercada and Malignancy and Total Fucking Destruction and Waldhexen from Rochester also. So that was at least a cool show.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, fucking
That
right.
sounds like. And where are you? Are you in Rochester now?
I'm living in Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right on the border, so I mean I'm always going over there. So that's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love Canada. I wrote a book about Canada.
Oh yeah, what about?
And now I know you're from Canada.
Oh, what about? What about?
It's called Parking the Moose. It just came out last October, and it's all about. My grandfather was from Clinton, Ontario, and I traveled around Canada exploring my Canadian roots for a couple of years and wrote about it. Paperback comes out next month.
Wow. Oh,
So
very cool.
I'm throwing all sorts of things that people can steal.
Well, we gotta find your links. Where can we steal all this stuff then?
If you go to my Facebook page or go to my website davehillonline.com, you can usually find the information. Or just Google me. It'll all slowly come to the top of the pile.
Right to the Google pile. There's Mr. Dave Hill with all these projects that he's got going on and everything. So, what made you this king of metal? What happened here?
Well, I think I think I just said that I was the king of metal. And if there's anything that I learned in this life is if you say something, it instantly becomes at least partially true, right?
Totally.
So I'm good buddies with Frank and Rob, who started Metal Injection, and we've been friends for years now. And they, they'll ask me to do. We just started doing the videos, and we called him King of Metal, and here I am. I'm the King of Metal. I have the Iron Cobra shirt on.
I was gonna say it's either Iron Cobra or King Cobra, the band, the old band.
Oh, Carmine of Pieces.
Yes, yes.
Beautiful. No, this is Iron Cobra. Do you like these guys?
I've never really listened. I know the name, but that's about it.
They're really good. They're from Germany.
New, old?
They're new. They're current. I mean, I don't know if they put a record out in a few years, but I think they're still active.
Right. What got you into metal? What got you into all this mess?
I think, I mean, I'm like anyone. I mean, especially metalheads, as you know, like I find most metalheads are total music nerds and listen to all kinds of stuff. And I've always been that way with music. And it was just, I think, being open to checking out different stuff. And for me, metal specifically, I think I really like the intensity, pushing things to, you start with Black Sabbath and then it builds on that, a band comes along and builds on that. I feel like that doesn't really happen in other genres where people just get more and more intense, you know what I mean? Like maybe in something like jazz, you have people go oh, I'm gonna go crazy instead of going I'm gonna go
Yeah.
shit like that. But with metal, like it's just this constant,
Bar.
just the bar being raised and raised and raised until you get to a band like Portal or something from Australia, and then you're like, the first time I heard that music, I was just like, I can't even, it's giving me an anxiety attack.
It does. You kind of don't know where it's going. The riffs don't seem like they're like it's too dissonant, I guess is what you want to say, to sometimes capture it. But I find with a band like Portal, they just bring you to a different level of death metal.
Yeah, it's nuts. And it's funny, like I learned about them through Phil Anselmo. He would play them for me all the time. So we shot a web series, Metal Grasshopper, together.
Yeah.
So especially while we were doing that, he would play them. We would just be hanging out, and he would play it, and I was just like, oh my god, I need to go to the bathroom or something. And it's amazing, but I even talked to I can't remember his name, the singer for Portal. I've met him, and I told him, I said, Phil will not stop playing the music for me. He plays it over and over. And the singer even said, he's like, yeah, it's not really meant to listen to over and over. Like, you just kind of get a sense of it and then you move on, but yeah, but I think it's really cool what guys are doing that sort of thing. And then, and then there's bands that, pull it back in the other direction to, the bands that like new wave of traditional heavy metal bands out there now who are like kind of just going back to kind of classic metal riffs and like cleaner guitar sounds and things like that. And I think that's cool too.
Totally. So on a death metal note, what was your first death metal concert?
I think it was, I would say it was definitely Cannibal Corpse when Chris Barnes was still the singer. I don't know what album it would have been, but I saw them. I think I saw them twice with Chris Barnes, and then I've seen them 70 million times with George Corpse Grinder Fisher. I saw Death. Actually, it might have been Death. Death might have been the first one. I saw them play probably in the mid-90s, maybe. So that maybe was the first one I saw. Maybe it was that, like 94.
Yeah.
So it was pretty late to the party.
Right, yeah, because Chris Barnes left, he left for, the Vile album, which came out, I believe, 94? 95?
That's when Chris Barnes left?
Yeah.
So, so I would have seen them, when it was right towards the end of when he was in the band.
Totally.
And but I think I saw Death before that, and I remember, though maybe I think Gene Hoglan was the drummer at the time, but I might be out of my mind.
I think we all are now, anyways. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, and then I've seen a ton of death metal bands since then, and I always go see Autopsy when I can, and that's always fun.
So you got to come to Canada. It was the year before to see Autopsy, obviously in Quebec.
Yeah, at the Montreal Death Fest, which was a super. The only thing about that, and I'm sure I was not alone in this. I was really excited because I saw Exorder.
Yeah.
My buddy Marzi is playing guitar with them right now, but the problem was with those like really long, all day long, all night long festivals. You kind of like, yeah, let's have some beers, let's get it started, and then so honestly, by the time Autopsy played, I was like in the balcony, just kind of. I heard the whole show, but I was sort of like in some sort of in between subliminal state. It was amazing, actually. I sort of recommend seeing them in that mind frame.
Yeah, and
I was definitely about a dozen beers into the day by then.
Oh, that's it?
I mean, I'm being conservative in my estimate. I had put in a full day's work of drinking by the time they played.
Yes, definitely.
So.
Well, because it usually happens, especially when you get in an environment like that where all your buds are coming out to fucking see everybody. It's like that's the first thing that happens. Hey, man, I'll buy you a shot. I'll buy you a drink. Come to the hotel. Let's fucking smoke a joint. Do this, do that. And then, like you said, by the time you know it, the band that you want to see comes on, and you're just fucking like, holy shit.
Yeah. It's a long day, so maybe. No, I'll be more strategic about it. But I had a great time. Everyone said I had a really great time at that festival. Everyone said I had the best time.
That's great. That's great to hear. It's good that you have. Obviously, there's some proof of you being there.
Everyone. A lot of people said they saw me, and a lot of people said I had a really good time. So.
So, would you say Autopsy is one of your favorite bands then?
I do really love them because one of the things I love about them, aside from what they're doing musically, is that they maintain they're still just four guys playing their instruments. They're not doing the triggered drums, and I really hate that sound of the triggered drums. I think when you do that, it's to my ears, it's not heavy anymore. It just sounds like, for children, and not, I don't want to take any shots at any bands, but, I went to see, although I guess if I say this, I took a buddy of mine. I'm friends with, I really like At the Gates. I'm friends with Jonas, the guitar player from that band. And so they were coming to New York, and they were playing with Arch Enemy and Amon Amarth, I think. Well, I know there's those three. I just don't know if there was another. I can't remember if there was another band. And so I was with my buddy, Curtis Steigers, who's a jazz guy, total jazz, not metal at all. In fact, he wanted to get together and have dinner, and I said, well, here's what's going on. I want to go see At the Gates, so we'll have dinner, but then you have to come see At the Gates with me. And he was like, whoa. And but he's like, all right, I'll do it. I'll come to the show. And then so we saw At the Gates, and they were great. But then Arch Enemy came on, and Amon Amarth came on, and they just sound like it sounds like my friend Curtis, who's a jazz guy, heard it, and he said these bands just sound like bzzz, it doesn't. He's like, At the Gates was cool, but these guys, it's just can't feel anything. It's just kind of annoying. So I realize I'm probably really just blew the Amon Marth tour. But I just think my point, if they're watching,
Right.
don't use triggered drums.
Yeah.
That's the guitars sound great. Everything else sounds great, but when you have that like, I know I'm not alone in this. It's not. I didn't come up with this concept of being against triggered drums, but
No.
I think one of the reasons, aside from the songs themselves, is Autopsy doesn't bother with any of that, and you hear it sounds like real people playing real music.
Yep.
So
Totally.
that's my advice to anybody playing any form of music, especially death metal.
Don't trigger.
No triggers.
When it's true death metal. I understand with like the progressive death metal, technical, all that kind of shit sometimes, but it still loses its soul when you're triggering to that point, right?
I think so. Yeah, you just want to have someone just like Chris just beats the shit out of stuff and it breaks, and that's how it should be.
It's true though, because it's just, yeah, because primitive death metal is caveman like. It just keeps you in that groove where it's not sweet picking, you're not fucking trying to listen to every note that's going on or whatever. It's just straightforward. It's got a punk aesthetic to it, but it's just driving this brutality in the background too, with the raw productions and just the raw sounds of the instruments.
Totally. And I'm glad you brought up sweet picking. That should never happen.
In death metal.
In any form of music, it just shouldn't happen. It doesn't sound good. It's like impresses, it's like if you're a Guitar Center or something, sweet pick, fine. There's going to be the guy who will probably throw in an extra pack of strings on the Ibanez you're about to buy or whatever, but any other setting is totally Ingve. I'll let Ingve get away with it, but no one ever got laid from sweet picking. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, you don't think the guys in Dying Fetus get laid all the time?
I doubt it. Honestly, not because of the sweet picking. Maybe it's because they're gentlemen.
Oh.
It could be, maybe they listen for a change instead of just always talking, and maybe they are attentive to other people's needs
When they're sweet picking.
I'm just saying, it's probably not the sweet picking.
Right.
And don't even get me started when you have those slanted fretboards that are like, when the fretboards are like that's like major sausage party move right there.
Well, yeah, you're playing to your best bud, who's just as good an instrument player as you are, right? And that's it.
Yeah, it's like Dungeons and Dragons on guitar or something.
Right, roll the dice.
Fine.
And sausage party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I know where you're going with that. Are you a fan of Rings of Saturn then?
I don't know that.
Oh, okay. Well, they're just one of the new technical. I guess like they're kind of in a deathcore, but literally every riff just seems to be sweeping the whole time,
No.
and then just gent, and then sweet pick, and then gent. So
No, I don't like that. I think it should be more primitive. I like when things are more primitive.
So are you
any kind of music?
Are you into the new scene of death metal then? Like this new generation of young dudes playing the old style shit?
Yeah, that's more up my alley. I think they've got the right idea. None of that. It should be like, just go to like scream bloody gore, and then
just work off of that.
Just work off that. Don't possessed.
Yep.
And then you don't. That's just me though. But I'm again tend to be right about everything. So.
Right. So listen to you is what we're saying.
I mean, you would be in good hands if you did.
Right.
I don't want to be right about everything. It's just worked out that way.
Yeah, you can't help it, man. I get it, dude. I get it.
It's like a form of autism or something. I can't help it just be right.
Right. And then when somebody questions you, you just freak out and punch them out and stuff like that? Is that what you do?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm a gentleman.
Oh, okay. That's good. Good.
I respect people's right to be wrong.
Right. Hey. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. As long as they're not trying to argue the point too much with you, because you just know what you're talking about. So.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, totally, man. Totally.
You know, but I'm happy to admit when I don't know something like rings of Saturn or whatever.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Don't.
But you know, it would have been worse if I was like, oh yeah, I was just checking out their new thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, I was just over at the Bootlegger, and I just heard it on the PA speakers playing for everybody right now.
Yeah.
Totally. What about with Metal Injection? You were doing those black metal video reviews or whatever like that. How come you're not doing any more of that shit? There's still way more good black metal like what you were reviewing on there.
I gotta ask them. I did something fairly recently with them, but I don't know. I told them I was like, why aren't you utilizing me? Because I love doing it, and but hopefully we'll do more soon. We did do one fairly recently. I can't remember what it was. It was about power metal, I think. But yeah, I'm always ready to school motherfuckers on whatever is put in front of me.
So then you got to do some death metal then.
I did rate, I think, all the Cannibal Corpse covers at one point.
Oh.
But that was a while ago. But you're reminding me. I'm gonna ask.
Yeah, get up on that, man. Yeah, that shit was hilarious. Because a lot of people, I mean, obviously, once I posted your picture, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, Dave Hill, he did a bunch of shit on Metal Injection. He's a stand-up comic. He's all over the place. And obviously, a few of my friends are going, I've never heard of the guy, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I know exactly. That's what I said. I go, what are you, fucking dumb?
Happens. Well, I'm a cult figure.
So
not everyone can know about me.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody.
No.
It's for everybody, but it's not for everyone.
Oh, that's deep.
I don't even know what that means, but I feel like it sounded deep. I don't know.
Well, because you're right.
It's because I'm right.
Because you're right. So, what else is going on with you lately? Other than Painted Doll, Witch Taint, or is that taking up all your time right now?
I was supposed to, I had a lot going on
beforehand.
Like everyone else. Right now, really, it's that. I have the Witch Taint record comes out Friday, and then my new stand-up album, which is called The Pride of Cleveland, that comes out April 24th, but you can stream it starting this Friday on Pandora, and it'll be on Sirius Radio. And then in May, the paperback version of my third book, Parking the Moose, which is about Canada, that'll be out. And then sometime probably this summer or fall, I'm not sure yet, but the new Painted Doll, it's mastered. I drew the cover, so we're pretty much ready for that to come out. And then, but I don't know. I just was supposed to have done a stand-up comedy tour I was going to do 5 nights in Oslo, then Krakow. And I love Oslo, I love Krakow. And then I was going to do 3 nights in Czech Republic, and then 3 nights in London. And then it was all canceled.
Yeah.
And then, everything. The next thing is I have some Witch Taint shows scheduled for August, but who knows whether they'll happen. I hope they happen, but I think there's bigger things to take care of in the world.
Yeah, it kind of seems that way, eh?
Yeah, I think, though I'll tell you, I am excited to come get up to Canada. I love Canada, and hopefully I'll come up to the next Montreal Death Fest, and and drink some of that. What's that beer that I like? It's called Boreal. Do you know it?
No.
They only have it in Quebec. It's really good.
Okay.
It's quality.
Right on. So you're hoping for the next Quebec Death Fest that you're going to come out?
I hope so. I mean, my hope is that, it's a good excuse to come to Montreal, and I love Montreal. So even the tiniest excuse is, I'm ready to go. But I feel like it maybe by, when is that, January?
No, it's September.
Is it September?
Yeah.
Oh, that could be perfect, actually.
Yeah, totally. It's usually, I think it's the beginning, first week or so of September.
Oh, that could be perfect. That would be really nice, actually. All right, maybe that'll be mine. Will you go?
I've already got my tickets, and we got our hotel room and everything.
Who's the headliner?
Oh fuck, who is it right now? It's been a while.
I can Google it. I use the Google machine.
Use Google. You use Google?
I have it. Well, I don't have it, but I have friends who have it.
You got you. Yeah. Shit. What is that? Anyways, Blood Red Throne is playing. Infernal Majesty's playing. Well, it's Quebec Death Fest 3. All right, Corona. Yeah. Flesh Crawl, God Dethroned, Incantation, Massacre, Razor, Scattered Remnants, Violence, Wake. So far.
Okay, I can work with that.
So yeah, come on down, man. Come to the hotel rooms. We'll have some beers.
I'm in. Maybe I'll just do that part. I'll just come and I'll do the beers, and I won't actually see any of the bands.
Well,
that's the power move.
Well, then you save $150 too, right?
I know, it's not a bad idea.
Because everybody's pretty much hanging out kind of outside anyways, right? You go in for a few minutes, see these bands, you come back outside. The party's outside most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, just as long as you get the T-shirt, you know?
Yeah,
that's all you need.
Totally. A couple pictures with people, and hey, man, that was the best show ever, right?
Yeah. Everyone's super pumped.
So nothing coming up with Metal Injection? No new videos with Phil Anselmo? Nothing?
I mean, everything's on hold. I mean, anything that I haven't already gotten in the can is on hold. Yeah. So, but no, we're talking about all those things you mentioned. I'm sure we'll do more Metal Injection stuff as soon as it's okay for me to be in the same room with those guys. And then I was just talking with Phil Anselmo's wife the other day about, hopefully we can do something again soon. And that would be super fun because I had such a blast. If nothing else, hopefully I can at least get down to, where he lives, which is like sort of heavy metal Graceland or something.
Yeah, right.
There's all cute doggies and pigs and chickens and stuff, and it's really nice.
That's sweet. Yeah, because he taught you how to weed whack too.
He did. I got to use the weed whacker.
Well, because are you mostly a city boy?
No, well, I'm originally from the suburbs of Cleveland, Ohio, so I'm pretty
okay.
I'm pretty well versed in the ways of the weed whacker.
Okay, good.
So when you saw me not being sure, that was my acting chops.
Oh wow, that's pretty good acting, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'll even let you in on a really big secret. I was once a landscaper.
Whoa.
I had a job as a landscaper before I became an obscure, internationally renowned comedian and musician. I was a landscaper.
That's fantastic. One of my last jobs that I had at the local casino here in Niagara Falls, that was my last job too for the last 4 years before they walked me out.
Why did they walk you out?
I just didn't fit the profile of the company. They didn't see me in the future of the casino.
I could see that.
Yeah, me too. I kind of saw that too, and I was laughing actually when they walked me into the little room, and sat me down and knew exactly what was going on. And the HR guy at the time, he literally was the most stressed out person in the world because he had patches of hair everywhere. So he was sitting at the round table with my boss and my supervisor and this HR guy. So as soon as I walk into the room, I just sit down, kind of look at everybody, start laughing, and I was like, gee, I didn't see this coming. And I tell the HR guy, I'm like, buddy, I'm not going to yell. I'm not going to scream. I don't give a fuck. So you can relax. And he literally was just like, okay, thank you, man. Thank you. Like I love my job, but some of these people, they just stress me out so much. And then you come in, you got tattoos on, you got sideburns and all this stuff. And it's just like, no, man, I'm fucking probably the most chill person here. So just relax and give me my rights and give me my severance check and let me get the fuck out of here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's happened to me. You know, us, you know, we can't be tamed.
No.
You know, we're not meant for that world, so.
It's very true. That 9 to 5 and fucking having to swipe in and have to deal with somebody every day, man, that gets on my nerves like fucking tenfold.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't last. I always tell my girlfriend I would be fired before noon from her job. She works, you know, in a, you know, corporate environment. I would be sent home, you know, for who knows what infraction, photocopying my buttocks, or even just one ball.
Yeah. It'd be funnier to do one ball because not many people do the one ball. It's always the ass cheek, right?
Yeah. That's sort of like too obvious is the ass cheek, but the one ball.
Right. You just fucking pull it and stretch it right over, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're old enough now that they're hanging down far enough.
I know. I didn't want to be the one to say it, but yeah.
No, we are.
As you get older, you have more nutsack leeway.
Yeah, lots of nutsack leeway. Totally.
When your balls are as heavy as ours, then it's only natural for the nutsack to stretch. Yeah,
because I'm wearing loose boxers right now, and literally, it's like hurts when I do that.
I can hear it on this end.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, I'm sorry.
No problem.
I showered today too, so it shouldn't sound too bad.
I showered too, but I still have corpse paint.
Yeah, but you showered and then had corpse paint, or did you have corpse paint and then shower?
The second one.
Okay, the second one. That's good. you... So with Painted Doll, with Reefer, it is. I'm finding it has a Blue Oyster Cult feel to it.
Yeah, we've heard that before. Obviously we love Blue Oyster Cult, and the band, it started, you know, because we actually met at an autopsy show, and then became friends and started emailing, and started trading music, and then we were like, oh, we should make a band based on the stuff that we've been trading, and it was mostly like 60s and 70s, like psych and
sweet,
like proto metal type things.
Love it.
And then we just kind of, you know, but the new record is done, and it's. I feel like if people like the first one, they'll like this one. It's more the same. No, I mean, we think we've made progress, but like a logical you know, that you'll be like, oh, I see it. I see what they did there.
Right. And how did you record this last album?
Well, I mean, we do everything really fast because Chris lives in the Oakland area and I live in New York, so we just jam. I think both records, we only played together 4 times for each record, and then we just went into the studio, and so it's all done really fast. You know, we kind of make demos on our iPhones and things like that, and it's all like pretty, not to get back to primitive again, but it's all pretty primitive and done super fast, and, you know, not a lot of overdubs or anything, you know, no click tracker or anything like that.
Yeah, it's pretty raw.
Yeah.
Which that old style rock and roll, all of it was fucking raw.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what we're going for. And also financially, we have no choice because we're both do all these other things that by the time we're like, oh shit, we got to make a Painted Out record, we're like, how much money do you have? And then we just decide, like, all right, because we've already spent all this other money on, I've got clearly had a lot of work done, and Chris is always, he raises pygmy goats, has I think 7,000 of them right now, and so that's where a lot of his money is going.
Pygmy goats.
I just made that up. I think that is a kind of goat.
Yeah, I think there is, but I would believe you.
I know he loves animals
and pygmy goats.
Yeah.
So I got a buddy here, Mr. Phil Pattison, is asking what got you into comedy? What were some of your influences to get into stand up and stuff?
Well, I first got into it just because from playing in bands, I would end up talking in between songs, and I liked doing that. And then I was also a writer, and I liked sneaking jokes into like a newspaper or magazine article I was writing, and then. And then I was like, if I just do comedy, I won't have to carry any equipment, and I can just do that. And so I started doing that. As far as people that I really, I love, like Chris Elliott and Bobcat Goldthwait and Fred Willard and David Letterman and Dick Cavett and Andy Kaufman and people like. And then there's a bazillion other people, but probably all those things.
So you grew up obviously watching all the comedies and just getting into all that shit, and and then just being a funny kid growing up, I guess.
Yeah, and I just started. A friend asked me to do it, and he was running a show, and I did it, and no one threw anything in my head, so I did it again, and then it just kind of grew from there, and then it just turned into my job. I never really planned on it, to be honest, but it just kind of grew, and then now it's just kind of. I mean, now I can't. Now I just sit around a lot, to be honest.
Wow.
No, I've been staying very busy despite not being able to leave the house.
I'm feeling like, I mean, obviously this seems to be our new lifestyle choice that we have no choice of being a part of, and I'm starting to fill all this free time with shit now, so it's starting to get busy again, like you said.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really hard. I'd be too busy to go back to a normal life if that ever happens. So I'd be like, oh no, I'm supposed to walk to the living room in 15 minutes, so I don't think I can do anything else.
Yeah, it's going to be a big trip, man. It's like your tour, right?
Mm-hmm. I have a gig in the living room after this.
Oh, for sure. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. So, like we said, go to Dave Hill. What was it?
DaveHillOnline.com. You can check out my Instagram at Mr. Dave Hill, at Mr. Dave Hill, and or just Google me, and it's all going to work out. But the Instagram, I usually post everything that's going on there. I've been banned from Twitter, so
I watched that little video clip about you and saying those bad things towards the higher ups and yada yada yada.
Yeah, so.
Well, you got to stop talking about people's moms. People get so offended by that shit.
People don't like it when you pork their mom. If I've learned anything in this life, don't even talk about it.
No, not never. So we'll never be on Twitter, so don't even go on Twitter. Just go to Instagram, Facebook, MySpace?
I forgot my login there.
No, MySpace.
Probably not there. But yeah, just my website and Facebook and Instagram.
And hopefully, when all this is said and done with, and hopefully you get back on the road, you can either come to Buffalo, Rochester, or Toronto, get nice and close.
I will. I'll make it so.
Sweet. Well, this is Dave Hill, everybody. I want to thank Dave for coming on, and it's been a super pleasure, man. I fucking really appreciate it, and it was nice to finally connect.
For having me.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks. I'm honored, and good luck with the film. And I'll come and work the concession stand at the premiere.
Definitely. We gotta do a New York premiere or something like that.
You have to.
Well, because I mean, we have Will from Mortician in there. We have the guys from Malignancy in there. We have Chris from Internal Bleeding in there. So, oh yeah, Ross Dolan is in it from Immolation. Dan Lilliker's in it. So we got to have a New York hangout sometime.
Yeah, you have to do it at St. Vitus.
Oh, bang, bang, bang! Nice. I like that. Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, dude, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Rock and roll, brother. Check it out, eh? Hi, everybody. See, now that's a good dude, man. That was fun. We got to get all aspects of the scene, right? You know, obviously it's about the bands, because, I mean, they're the ones that, you know, are the face of death metal and everything like that. Oh, now we got some light because the TV light or whatever. So we just try to get all the aspects of it all, right? And Dave, he's a big freaking, you know, he's editorial work stuff. He did a lot of stuff for Metal Injection, and like you said, he's working with Reefer on his band. So like, and he's like a stand-up comic. So he's trying to do, you know, obviously he was trying to do his tour, yada yada yada. We got to deal with this shit. So tomorrow we have, I don't know if too many Americans would know who this is, but the guy that we have on board tomorrow, Alan Cross, he is one of Canada's new music historians, pretty much. He runs a show on one of our local alternative stations out of Toronto, 102.1 The Edge. And he has a spot on there. I think he had a spot on a few other shows also, but the history of new music. And the guy is literally an encyclopedia of fucking tunage. It's mind-blowing, some of the shit that this guy comes up with, and the different genres that he tackles too. So obviously, let's bring him on board, since he's a, you know, a major historian of just new music and everything that's going on. Let's see. Let's check out his knowledge on death metal and stuff like that, heavy metal and everything. It was funny today, actually. I did, like I was mentioning, I did a show with the Hellcast guys from over at Hell's Headbanger headquarters or whatever, and we're talking just about how the Montreal scene at the time, with like you know, the blowing up of Cataclysm and Cryptopsy, of being this extreme death metal, right? So apparently they had a conversation just earlier about, you know, how you can name probably 30 bands in like Tampa alone, death metal bands, right? So just think the States, how many death metal bands can we name in the States? How many death metal bands can you name in Canada? So I kind of threw a number out. I was like, yeah, you know, you probably, because I was like, you know, obviously in the States you could probably name off 300 death metal bands, no problem, right? In Canada, you could probably get to about 30 if you're lucky. And then all of a sudden they're like, 30? I don't even think I could even name 10 Canadian death metal bands. I'm like, oh my God, okay. So he's like, well, how about this? How about we do a little, name 30 Canadian death metal bands. And I actually came up with 30 Canadian death metal bands. And there wasn't a lot of, because there's like, you know, we have our main bands, right? You know, Cryptopsy, Cataclysm, we had Neuraxis for a while, and Gorguts. But what about, you know, the rest of it or whatever? So I ended up actually naming probably 7 or 8 names and then the rest was all just underground shit. And I mean, because obviously growing up in Canada, we're trying to, you try to interact with as many Canadians as possible, especially within this area. And just over the last 30 years, building up collections and stuff, and then start to hang out with Craig Newman finally after fucking actually chatting with him 30 years ago too through mail and everything. So it's nice to see Craig focusing a lot on the Canadian death metal scene himself too, which is rad as fuck. So CDN Records, make sure to go to cdnrecords.com, and all kinds of death metal on there. Brutal death metal, old school, grindcore, noise, whatever. You fucking name it. I love plugging fucking CDN because he's just doing awesome, man. Also promotes Ectoplasma, fucking fantastic Greece death metal. And be sure to support everybody you can, man, because this is what we got to do in this time. So I think that's it. How's it going, everybody? We got John McEntee. What's up, bro? Ashley, did you see? John, let's bring this up again. Let's see if I can bring this up again. John, if you're watching, I've got some old footage. We've got some old footage. All right, we'll take that down here. John McEntee, if you're still watching, I got some old footage of Incantation here. You guys played at the scrapyard. See if I can find this for you. This is pretty good shit, man. Fuck yeah, John. What's up, bro? How are you? How you guys holding up down there? Let's see. Little Carnal Dissection. I believe that was the show that played with you. Good old Carnal Dissection, man. Unfortunately, there isn't a shit ton of footage with these guys. There we are. It's good old Lori. Lori from Eruptions from Below. She filmed all this shit, and so I have it. Let's turn these lights off so we get. Look at young Johnny there, eh? Looked like that grave shirt you had on was from Blue Grape Merchandising. Uh-oh, what happened here? So we got video. It's not done yet. I hope the tape's not done. It can't be broken yet. It can't be broken. I still gotta record all this shit. But yeah, I just missed that Incantation show by a few months. I was so fucking pissed. Looks like the tape's giving me a little bit of bullshit here. Come on. I just watched this. No. Well, that sucks, balls. Hold on a second. I'm just going to give it a sec again. All right. Let's try one more time. Oh, man. Anyways. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. John, that was fun there. Good. I'm glad you guys are doing great, man. Phil Pattison. Phil says hi also. And this is it. I think that's it, man. I need to go take a piss and go say hi to everybody. Have a good night, people. Yeah, I know. I got to do the same thing too, man. All those fucking old videos, they're starting to get all creaky and everything. All right, guys.